What's going on, everyone? All right, we're back. I'm back. We're back to hosting every night, it seems like. I got Hallister up here with me tonight. Curtis, if you want to come up and talk about anything, you're welcome as well. I'm actually really hoping that noise was coming through. Okay. Anyway, we do have a lot to cover tonight because I haven't been live on my own, like covering broad market and things that I typically talk about. So excuse me if I'm slightly rough tonight on this. So, but I do want Hallister to kind of cover everything that he had. I want to talk about yesterday. I do apologize, guys, that we weren't live yesterday. I'm actually not sure what happened. But I am going to be hosting. So whether I'm actually like active and talking or anything like that, but I will be around basically hitting the go live button. So I will be here every night that we are live. So, Hallister, if you want to start off with what you wanted to talk about, that would be great.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've got quite a bit. I mean, just from a broad market perspective, I mean, general news, like there's a lot that's going on. I mean, we saw like the high inflation numbers last week. I saw yesterday, interesting article that the Walton family was pulling out of longer-term equities and was switching into short-term bonds. I've seen an awful lot about like Treasury protected securities, like the TIPS, the inflation protected bonds. It definitely seems like the transition is starting. Morgan Stanley came out yesterday and made a call for S&P to 4,400 next year, which I think is interesting, really, because that's only like a 5% pullback or so. There's been a lot of speculation around the new Fed chairman, which I guess the other candidate outside of Jay Powell is what's her name, Lael something. She was the one that wrote this nasty article like a week or so ago about being more hawkish on the interest rates. Plus, the market's just been crazy lately. I feel like, I mean, in terms of my portfolio anyway, like I'll look at the SPY, and the SPY just seems to be kind of chugging along. But my portfolio is looking pretty red lately. I don't know about you.
Oh man, I don't even want to like talk about my portfolio right now. Even my crypto's a little bit bad. Which, speaking of, Loopring just like randomly hopped up to almost $3 while I was trying to put our daughter to bed. So I was trying to figure out what the hell happened with Loopring. It's kind of my saving grace right now in my crypto portfolio. Like I don't even know. There is some wonky shit getting ready to happen, and I do want to shout out to everybody that has been posting pictures of like your Walmarts, your Costco's, your Safe, or your Sam's Clubs and things, because I mean, like I really thought ours was bad. Like I mean and ours is apparently doing very well. Whoever, I can't remember who it was that was posting from the northeastern states, but oh my God, I don't know if you guys have seen the pictures, but their shelves are I mean, they're barren. There's nothing there. Oh man, I am so sorry. And I just can't imagine. I am terrified for you guys up there, especially with winter hitting. I mean, if you figure here in Florida, like, yes, I am in a sweatshirt, but it is freezing to me because I live here. But at the end of the day, like, our lows are in the 50s. Like, we can bundle up and we can still kind of, keep warm. But, you know, it's getting cold up north. I do remember that much from living in Indiana. It's cold in November and December, and it goes until like April, and it's stupid. Um, so yeah, no, I don't know, Hallister. Like that, I think what we're gonna start seeing, you said the Walton family starting to go into um, short-term investments.
Well, short term bonds.
Short-term bonds. Okay.
Yeah, they're getting at selling equities, getting into bonds.
So yeah, I would say they're seeing exactly what we're seeing in the markets, that long term, there is nothing that's going to last throughout this long term. The recession's here, and God, I hope people are paying attention. Cause like here's a wrench in everyone's plans here. Hallister, you and I kind of talked about this last night, and I kind of put some breadcrumbs about it. But Bill Gates talking about the possibility of a smallpox outbreak. Now, I don't know about any of you guys, but I remember him saying, "Oh, there might be this big pandemic," and then COVID hit. Okay, so either this man is a psychic, or he knows something that we don't know. And the last time the smallpox hit, that was our parents' generation, and no one's been vaccinated against it since. For I think it's like 50 years. I think I read is that no one's been vaccinated against smallpox for 50 years. And this is a big DD, guys, that I am currently working on with my husband. But there's one company that is not the United States that actually owns the vaccine patent, and Emergent actually purchased the ability to manufacture the vaccine here in the United States. So here's some DD for you guys. Start looking into these companies. So these are the only two known that I can find that have something to do with the smallpox vaccine. Well, Bill Gates has now come out and said that he wants to raise funds to do research and funding and all this other stuff for treatment and everything like that. So this also goes along with Project Dark Winter. If you haven't seen it, look it up. So COVID, everything that happened with COVID was actually part of something that they planned for. It was something that they, had a roundtable about how do we go about this, blah, 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 blah. Don't quote me. Don't ask me which one it is right now. I can't remember. But Project Dark Winter talks about something like this. And so then you figure we tie in New York, to put your tinfoil hats on here. The New York subway system, they had some kind of release of, toxic gas or whatever that shut the whole subway system down, and how smallpox is spread. It's, just like COVID, just like the flu, just like anything else, it is through the air. And so the whole scenario that they had was that 10 airports would be targeted as a bioweapon or whatever, for smallpox. And so then they had to do all this whole thing. So this is where I'm saying, I'm going to call it now. Start looking into smallpox. Are we going to start seeing an outbreak of smallpox? Is this something that we need to be worried about? Start looking into the CEOs who might benefit from this, who's going in and, whatever, just start researching it. This is something that's, I don't know. I get stuck on these things that I'm just like, I can't let this go. We need to, I don't know. And there's just something funky. Okay. I can't put my finger on it just yet, but there's something funky with it. But I think there is, going into winter time, and Biden, and it ties into Biden saying it's going to be a dark winter. It's going to be a dark winter. And that was the thing that was called for, this whole training protocol type thing, um, the Dark Winter, and it was just weird, and I need to take off my little frame thing that looks goofy. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know how, if any. Oh, we only have a few
Yeah,
friends in here tonight.
that's insane. Yeah,
Is that not insane?
I don't
Like,
know. No, I mean we were talking about it. I mean I've seen some interesting theories just on COVID in general and about um, China, the way they're trying to ramp up their economy, and about how um, I don't know. I mean, everybody that's an old theory in terms of how that could have been weaponized by China, but it's always interesting to see these things and kind of start to look into them and build a little bit of a narrative around it because it's certainly possible. It's one of those things. Like, I mean, I don't go super deep into that kind of stuff, but I'm certainly not going to say that it's not possible.
makes you think though, right? Like you're like,
No, yeah,
wait,
it
she
definitely
might be
does.
onto something here. There's if we've learned anything lately, there's no such thing as coincidences anymore.
Well, meanwhile, I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen what's happening yesterday, but how about the top two auto manufacturers in the world? Wow, it's amazing. Tesla and Rivian, number one and number two by market cap. It's incredible. I mean, I heard, Rivian's going to make something like 20,000 cars next year. They're like the second highest
Well, so you got to
auto manufacturer by market cap.
tell everyone about that company though. Like, I mean, why that's significant.
Well, I mean, they're recently public. I mean, they went public late last week. I don't know the specific detail. I mean, they went public at, I believe, like around $70 or something. Roughly like 150 right now. I mean, it's just insane. The options chain just opened today. Meanwhile, I mean, one of the things that I was looking at that I found really, really interesting, and I was kind of trying to think about in terms of putting together a strategy. I haven't fully formulated it yet, but so their stock was up about 15% today, okay? And seller puts were up by 400%. Um, So, like, the puts moved against the underlying significantly, like, presumably because there's so much interest in it. But um, I don't know, for anyone's out there that's more well versed in options than I am. I mean, I was thinking about, like, if you the chain, nothing moved the way that $70 did, and I was thinking about opening some kind of spread where potentially you sell a 70 because it's so overvalued right now, and the IV is insane, and then just buy like a 75 or an 80 or something like that, and just play a put spread on it. But anyway, I mean, it just goes to show. I mean, to me, like there's this big trend of, and I mean, this is broader than Reddit, broader than Twitter, just like out like in the business world, like they call it ESG, right? Environmental social governance, and it's this new trend in investing. I mean, you've seen like Gensler talk about it, um, and I mean, people are looking to invest in futuristic type things, right? Like climate change, clean energy, electric vehicles, um, all kinds of like cutting edge stuff or things that would be um, presumably profitable and good for the environment like over the next call it 10, 20, 30 years. um, what's interesting is that like these stocks, just a lot of them seem to be insanely overvalued. Like while everybody can ride Tesla all the way up, and it's been an insane investment for a lot of people. I mean, it's way fundamentally overvalued. And Rivian to have passed Volkswagen, I mean, I've seen things. Volkswagen can make 20,000 cars a day, okay, and Rivian's got 20,000 uh, for next year. It's insane, like the valuation on some of these things. Now they do have backing, right? Like Amazon's invested pretty heavily in them. I think Ford has a stake in them. Um, but just when you look at some of the fundamentals, I mean, the market is insane right now. With the way people are looking at things and the way people are valuing things. I mean, I'm historically more of a fundamental investor, and this is the kind of thing that just makes you shrug your shoulders and wonder what's going on. Um, Obviously, I'm in some of the plays I think a lot of us here are, because there's another element to all of those, and I'm not talking about our favorite stonks, but just even in a lot of other industries, like the valuation is just it's crazy right now. And I mean, I think I've talked about it a little bit before, but it seems that equities are one of the only places to be right now, even though kind of what we talked about at the beginning, we're starting to see a little bit of a shift.
Well, and I think too. I mean, okay, so the is it Rivian? Um, are they not having a problem with the chip shortage?
I mean, they're early stage. I mean, they're going on pre-orders and contracts and stuff like that right now. I mean, I don't think they haven't. I mean, to my knowledge, like done significant manufacturing. I mean, they have orders like going into next year. Like they have everything in place, and I mean they've got they've done little shows and things like that. But yeah, I mean it's the chip shortage continues. I mean it's as
So I'm wondering
far
if
as I can
that's
tell.
why they're doing okay, because you figure like Volkswagen, Ford, Chevy, all these big names, like they have vehicles just sitting because there's no chips. They can't get their computers going, right? So I'm wondering if that's what's like kind of hurting their industry versus like like Tesla and all these other companies that kind of do more like order, made to order type vehicles. Why they're doing a little bit better. Something to look into, maybe, because that chip shortage. I'm sorry, but that thing, it's wreaking havoc on so many different industries other than just vehicles. Um, but maybe that's they're not wasting their money. They're not wasting resources on um, just random parts. They have orders. They have holds. Yeah, that
Yeah, they don't have as much tied up in inventory at the moment.
that might be something. That's I mean hell. That's a kind of and that feeds in like if we could
Yeah,
actually have an auto company that does just that. It might take longer to get your vehicle. But you think of all the wasted resources. I've touched on this numerous times. All the wasted resources we have just sitting in these car lots of these brand new cars that nobody's buying. Um, like all the precious metals, all the just technology that's in these, it's wasted. It's absolutely just wasted. I don't know. It just drives me nuts. I could go on like a 2 hour tangent just on that. What else do you have for us,
well,
House?
yeah. I mean, semis still seem to keep running. In Nvidia, like, well, I mean, I'm just yeah thinking off of that a little. I saw like some big news on Qualcomm the past couple of days. I mean, they've done really, really well. Like that was one that I was looking at a few months back, but didn't end up taking a position in. I mean, Intel is still trying to recover from a really rough quarter, and I mean, from a value or fundamentals perspective, they look good, but I mean, their growth is, um, really been tapering off lately, and I mean, obviously, the market doesn't like that, so Intel hasn't seen much of a reaction. But AMD and Nvidia have both continued to run.
Oh my
Um,
God,
you
yeah.
know, I
Nvidia did
remember when Nvidia was shooting
crazy.
for 800, and then they did the split, and now they're yeah,
Yeah, Nvidia went freaking nuts. I was
yeah. Some of those
impressed
some
with
of those
the
plays I wish I was in early on,
God.
but
Right, right. I saw like oh man,
the
and
the
I
timeline on this chip shortage, though, I mean, it just keeps extending. I mean, they
yeah no Nvidia like and I should have been in Nvidia. Like I've had Nvidia cards, for my graphics cards
hmm?
for God 5, 6, 7 years.
Sorry, what
And
happened?
what? Can you hear me, Alistair? Alistair?
I
Uh-oh.
can. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
you might
Okay.
have been cutting out for a second. I don't know what happened, but yeah,
Oh,
no, I can hear you.
okay. But yeah, like since I've had a computer, I've had Intel with, NVIDIA graphics cards and, you know, I was a dumbass and was like thinking like, hey, why don't you, invest into the things that you use. No, of course not. Of course not. My dumb butt went with like Tesla, Apple, the safe stocks and, and some penny stocks, obviously, that you flip or whatever. But yeah, no, Nvidia, that should have been, and GameStop. Hello. We had friends that worked at GameStop for years, and that was just, that should have been a Q in freaking 10 years ago. Whatever. Um, but no, Nvidia was one I really wish I would have gotten into 100%. I was a solid play that a lot of people got into. So I applaud you guys. Like, hell yeah. Like,
Yeah, that's the Peter Lynch playbook right there. Invest in what you know.
When Lambo, what do you got
Let's see
for me?
what's up. When Lambo. All right.
All right, so not much. It was just a little bit on the topic of the chips and Rivian. So all I had to say was I don't think they've really mass produced many cars yet. So I think the produce is like very minimal at this point. So because you were asking about the chips on it and if they were having a shortage or anything like that. So I just thought I would state that real quick.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't think they'd
Yeah, for
have
sure.
to
No, I
be.
mean, I think what she was saying is like maybe they're less vulnerable.
Well, I know that they had the like contract with Amazon as well for like a while in the works. So that's something else that's in there. I'm sure you're aware of that.
Yeah, so something like 100K vans. I think that Amazon has on pre-order, and I mean, I think Amazon has a stake in them, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, of course, I mean they have a lot of companies. I mean, I remember Clean, CLNE, Clean Energy. Like Amazon had a ton of warrants, like with them, and they had a contract to buy a lot of their renewable natural gas, like and help to set up stations for some of those vehicles. I mean, Amazon is just a giant at this point, right? I mean, it feels like they're in everything. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just seems so insane to me that you can have this company that just IPO'd, like is literally not producing at this point. Like, yes, they have orders, but I mean, they're bigger than Ford, they're bigger than GM, they're bigger than
Right.
Volkswagen. Like they're
Yeah, that's where I was at with it.
it's nuts. But I mean, figuring out how to play it is dangerous. I mean, because the market's after it. I mean, it's been on the market like what 4 days at this point, and
Right.
you can look at the charts. It's insane. The options changes came out today. The the puts are going nuts. Um, but it's just one of those. I mean, it's one of those insane things. It's like, are you about to short that right now? I don't know. I mean, that's a pretty dangerous play.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that they've had I think their intentions are to technically go automated with like delivery and stuff like that. I think something similar to like Tesla. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Long term. So, I mean, I was hearing about them about a year and a half ago. Actually, like last year. It was about a year ago, actually. And my buddy, he was talking about them, and I was trying to get some of them before they were even on the market. So I missed it though. I'm all in my favorite stonk. So
Oh yeah. I mean, I think we
that's
all
all
we
I.
all have large positions there, but yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I'm looking at with Rivian and what I need to nail down really in terms of my DD is the insider lockup period. Um, because I mean, one of the things you got to remember, and I mean, I think is important for everybody to know, and I mean, I remember like just um, from like doing work in public accounting stuff. I mean, why do companies IPO? in general. I mean, it's either A, because they need capital, which they can get by issuing shares, or, and or B, because the initial investors want to exit their investment, right? At least part of it, like they want to cash out. And so that's one thing that I'm going to be paying pretty close attention to is the insider lockup period on that IPO. And given that, I mean, they settled on a fairly high IPO price, higher than a lot of others that we've seen lately, and the stock has more or less doubled since then. I think once they're able to, we might see a lot of selling.
Well, and, Can't Stop from YouTube says, yeah,
I guess we'll
Rivian
see. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Rivian has made about 150 cars, and I believe 144 has been given to employees. I just wanted to add that in there. I think I'm delayed a little bit. I think Twitter Space was trying to take us down, and it kind of failed, so now it just made me very wonky, just so you guys know.
Whoops, maybe we should have gone the other route. That's my bad.
I tried to do Discord tonight, and House was like, no, we got to do Twitter Space. So tomorrow night we probably will be on Discord, just so you guys know. Huh? What'd you say?
Oh no, I was saying you asked a neutral question. Come on now.
No, but yeah, tomorrow we'll probably be on Discord, because I do have. I'm gonna see if Hambone will come on and kind of discuss more of our DD that we're kind of doing. If anybody's actually looked into AstroWorld, if you haven't looked into that since I've talked about it a little bit with some people, the craziness that's kind of ensued with that. Oh my goodness, there's some dark stuff with it. So if you haven't looked into it yet, please do.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I saw a little bit about it. I mean, I haven't dug deep, but
yeah, no.
I mean, I saw all the headlines, and it's nasty stuff.
Well, and it's really sad. Like my condolences, my shout outs, and everything to, the families that are affected. I mean, it was, I think it's 9 or 10 people have passed away, and there was like hundreds of people that got hurt, that got, at this concert. And I mean, it was insanity. And so Nike dropped him, really.
They postponed his
sneaker release. Which
is kind of fucked up, because that's like saying, well, we're going to wait and release it when everyone's kind of forgotten about it and not so angry.
Oh, that's, yeah. Hambo, I don't know if you guys can hear in the background. Hambo basically said that it's like saying we'll release it when everyone's kind of forgotten, so, which is really just messed up. Like, no, if you know anyone that's been affected by it, like, guys, I'm very deeply sorry. Like, we have been just all about looking into what's going on with it, what happened. Like, I don't even know. Like, I can't even fathom it. Like, I can't. But there's something. It's just like the smallpox thing. Like, if you guys wonder what we've been doing for the last like week when we sit here at our computers, like, it's amazing I'm not having nightmares at this very, very moment. There's something sinister, and it, you tie it in with what's going on in the stock market and the just global world in general. Like, this is the time when we kind of just stand together and, be human and have that humanistic quality about us, the empathy, because we don't know, like, this I'm a very, like, I don't know, like, I'm a very empathetic, I'm very spiritual, so there's something that was very just, there's a vibe in the world right now that I don't like. And I think that's kind of being my driving force, why I don't want to ever stop stop talking, because there has to be some kind of form of communication, right? Like we'll get to an answer of something. Pete says, wow, the set looks mystic. Oh, thank you. No, it's not a set. This is my living room. You guys are literally like seeing my living room. But I'm glad you guys like my Christmas tree. We put it up super early. We were the first people on our block to have our Christmas lights up because I needed some joy in my life.
But now we have like a half dozen.
Yeah, there's a half dozen other houses that have their Christmas lights up, so it's amazing. So we were like a month and a half early, whatever. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, truck nerd. That's crazy. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that at all, or if you can, but yeah, I mean, he says he lives in Houston. His nephew was at the concert and saw some real sketchy shit going down.
I am so sorry, truck nerd.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us saw some of it through the. No, go ahead, Ken. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just, yeah, I'm really sorry that happened. It's I really hope that he, if he needs help talking it out, just make sure that he talks it out, because I mean, I've seen a fraction, maybe a fraction of what he could have seen, and I hope, yeah, just make sure that he gets someone to talk to. Bliss says, what is hidden in the dark is always exposed in the light. Yeah, heck yeah. Poor parenting. Oh no. I don't know. Like I don't want to dog the parenting. I don't know. I can't do that. There's just something very weird. So this is why the Christmas lights are up, because there's so much darkness in the world. But yeah, no, we 100% bliss. That's why we are here, is to expose all the bullshit. Yeah, right. So Truck Nerd says people sticking random people with some sort of substance. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like I've been to a few concerts in my life. Like it's not a big thing that we always go do. Like we went to like Chainsmokers a couple years ago. And we sat like, to Chainsmokers. We were in seats and whatnot. We weren't like down in the pit by any means. Other than that, like I went to like Santa Slam in Indy when I was in high school. And something at like the state fairgrounds. I don't know. I have no idea. Like I haven't been to that many concerts. Like it's not something like big crowds. I've never really done well in big crowds, and being squished together and not being able to hear. I don't know. No, thank you. I like to be able to know where all my exits are so I can get out safely. Like I do well in amusement parks, but there's many exits, so that's okay. There's, I'm safe in a sense. But yeah, I don't know, guys. There's something wrong in the world. He said he left after he saw that. Heck yeah. Props to your nephew for doing that. Props to your nephew. So this is what and this is why I'm going to say we're going to be on Discord tomorrow night. And so, because I do want to talk about this more, and I don't want to have interference with Twitter Space and everything like that, because they like to just kind of be goofy sometimes. But we're going to kind of dive in. I'm going to try to pull all the information that we've gathered, and it is a slew. Like this. By the way, you're going to be on tomorrow because you've been doing all of this. So yeah, we will have Hambone on tomorrow night, since our daughter now sleeps at a normal time where we can both talk. It's a lot. Like it has to do with, vaccine, which, okay, here's a question for you guys, for anyone that's listening and anyone that can answer this. So it was mandatory to go to the vaccine. or sorry, to go to the concert, it was mandatory to have the vaccine. But then he also encouraged people to bum rush the entire security and everything else. So it kind of negates the whole purpose of having the vaccine mandate. Yeah. So there's that whole big question as to what in the actual hell.
Weird, like fast-paced rave music.
But we will cover that. We will cover that tomorrow. He's sitting here going, guys. I don't want to talk about that just yet. That's tomorrow. We're gonna cover this whole craziness and what we found tomorrow during that global news. So the shortages. If anybody wants to speak on shortages, we do know that there's still ships still stuck off the coast of California. Containers are still washing up on shore that fell off, about a month ago off the ships. Prices are astronomical. Oh my God. It was like, I don't know if you guys saw the tweets about, just down here with meats. $82.40 a pound for brisket at beef brisket at Sam's Club, which I thought was kind of insane. We priced it at Costco today, and it was actually like a smaller, smaller slab. I don't know a different word, but a smaller bit of meat, but it was still, quite a bit. I think it was like $8-10 a pound. And it was really weird because we were kind of looking at dates too. Different dates had different prices per pound. And we're like, oh, well, it was cheaper on this day. Whatever. Trave, it will be at 10 p.m. Yes, thank you, Tampa Curtain. Halister, were you going to say something?
Well, I was going to jump in. I was going to say, you'd be proud of me because I've been stocking up a little bit. I can't. I don't have a ton of space for things, but I have a closet with some water and some Coke and some toilet paper and some other stuff. I've been buying up my canned food and stuff like that. The pantry's looking pretty good. So
I am so proud of you, Halister. Wait, you can find toilet paper?
Though, on the. Oh. Yeah, no, we still have some up here, I guess, at the grocery stores and stuff. Maybe not insane amounts, but yeah, we still have some.
I think there's a few rolls of Charmin floating
on
around
the shipping
here.
thing with the containers washing up, well, hopefully not floating, but one thing I'm looking at tomorrow is so Zim Integrated Shipping, they're a shipping company based out of Israel. They do container shipping. They were actually the ones that dropped those containers that you were talking about, up in Canada. But they report earnings tomorrow morning, I think, before market open. They're really attractively priced, for a shipping company. Based on PE and everything like that. It's one that I've been following for a while. I don't have an active position in, but I'm interested to see which way it goes. I was really contemplating getting on the long side of that one, but didn't. I don't know. Right now, I feel like my hands are tied with the market. You see everything that's going on, and it's just so nuts. Some areas just keep running, but I do feel like we're starting to see a turn. But I'm just ultra caution mode right now.
Oh, you and me both. I am so sketched out by the market. It's not even funny. I'm like, do I get in? No. Yes. No. Yes. No. just look at it. Just watch it. That's terrible. It's so terrible. But God, I sit here and try to do TA on different things. Yes, I want to get into this. And I watch it for a few days to see if my TA is correct, and it's completely bust. So I'm like, well, if I can't even do TA on a normal stock because the market's just that screwed up right now, nope. I'm going to stick to what I know at this very moment and just kind of play it safe, because as we all say, we don't play with money we can't afford to lose, right? And Yeah, I'm not losing anything that I've gained this year. Let's just put it that way. I no no.
Oh yeah, no, it's crazy. I saw a couple of meme stocks like had some news yesterday. I don't know if anybody saw. Clove did a big share issuance, and SoFi did another one as well. It's like I guess you could call SoFi a meme stock. I mean, they seem to have a fair case going for them fundamentally, but they both had big share issuances, big drops after market last night. I mean, I think SoFi might have recovered a little bit, Clove not so much.
Yeah,
But
my mom's in SoFi, which I thought was pretty
that was
interesting.
another little thing. Yeah, I mean over the past few months, I mean it's been a it's been a decent runner. I mean, if you got in at a good spot, you could probably be up 20% or so. And I mean, I think the momentum does seem to be building with that one. Um, I'm just always weird. I mean, I'm greedy in terms of taking positions. Like, I mean, I'll try to top tick and bottom tick things, and I mean that's just silly sometimes. But I mean, overall, I mean this earnings season I feel like has been crazy too. I mean, compared to what we've seen recently, just like the the amount of swings that we've seen from earnings. I mean, either way. I mean, last week I don't think we got a chance to talk about this, but I mean, I had two stocks that beat earnings, and just like down 15, down 20%, insane. Um, it just I don't know, things just don't make any
Well,
sense.
no, and it's funny that you say that. First, I want to address this. Truck nerd says I'm waiting for the toothpick holding up this economy to snap. Yeah, you and me both, because then our actual game plan comes into play, of writing this thing down, because then we can actually plan for it. Um, but no, my mom, my mom actually came to me this morning, and she was like, "So this company, this company, and this company did like super well in their earnings, and they just like plummeted." And she was like, and Walmart beat everything in their earnings, and except for this one thing in their, she couldn't tell me what it was, and I wasn't gonna look because I don't care. But they missed like one thing in their earnings, and I guess their stock just plummeted. And I said, Mom, most of the companies I watch do really well in earnings, and they still get shit on. I was like, that's just that's what we're watching. That's the manipulation. That's the corruption. The investors get super excited. They go and FOMO into these companies because they're actually doing well. Post COVID, blah 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 blah, and they go and short them or whatever because, well, that's what they want to do. And she's listened to me now for almost a year talk about all of this, and it's still kind of alien language, I guess. I haven't quite figured out yet. But yeah, it was. It's. I'm proud that she noticed that today. That, oh well, these companies did really well in their earnings. Why did their stock go down? Well, welcome to the market, because that's what we've been watching all year long.
Yeah, I mean that's why I don't know. I'm sketched out on Zim a little bit right now, even though I mean to me it's ridiculously undervalued. But I mean it's just it seems like the environment we're in. It's just like an extreme buy the hype, sell the news. Um, you can play the run up to earnings, but just get out right before it happens. But then you have Playboy. Playboy had a decent run today. I mean, they've got a lot going for them. I mean, somebody had put that bug in my ear like a few weeks ago, and I wish I'd have looked into it a little more, deeply. But I guess they're trying to put out a platform that's competitive with OnlyFans, and they're also issuing a bunch of NFTs. They've done like little bunny NFTs so far, but I mean, they might get into some different kinds. Who knows? But they
Oh
had like a
Lord,
20% day off of their earnings today. So
I cannot believe Playboy is still a thing. That's Oh man,
I
that's
know. I don't. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I thought too. I was just like, really? I was like, there's this thing called the internet.
well, I mean, like I figured Playboy would die when Hugh Hefner did. Like, right? Like that's wait, is Hugh Hefner still alive and he just stepped down? Am I totally mixing up my people who have died in the last 10 years? Someone correct me here. Google.
I think he passed away.
Hugh Hefner.
But the show on Amazon's really good. If you guys haven't watched it, I mean,
Yeah, he
kind
died in
of
2017.
like
I was
Playboy
like,
kind of stood for almost like what, not necessarily the movement, but he was a freelancer and he was against the corruption and stuff too. It
yeah.
wasn't just sex selling.
Oh, no, no, no. I mean, like, he had, like, financial stuff and random stuff in his magazine. I don't know. But I thought he passed away. I was like, wait, I could be totally wrong. Am I wishing ill on somebody that I don't know? But yeah, 2017. But no, yeah, that's why I was thinking. I was like, Playboy should have died with Hugh Hefner. Like, that's just, they're one and the same, right? I don't know. Whatever. Can't Stop says, I mean, SoFi and Clove are both.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I don't know. I mean, it seems like
This delay. This delay is terrible.
no. Go ahead. Sorry. We have a delay thing. We're fighting a delay thing tonight, guys.
SoFi and Clove are both Chamath companies, and I think it kind of weird that they both announced a share offering for 50 million shares at the same time. Walmart said bad shit about their supply issues, and that's what tanked it, supposedly. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, at least Walmart's owning it. Like, they're like, hey, we can't get our stuff. I guess they're honest. That's good.
Yeah, the thing about the Chamath companies, I mean, that's a good observation. I've seen a lot of mixed stuff about that guy. I don't know. I wouldn't certainly wouldn't trust him. Of course, not that trust is a big part of it. But I don't know. Back to Playboy a bit. I mean, I don't know. The bull case on that one is interesting. It's just they have such an iconic brand. Well, and they have like for such a long time. Yeah, I know. I'm going back to that. I mean, we'll see. But well, I thought what you might find interesting though is that part of the bull case there is actually their clothing lines and things like that. Like, I mean, outside of selling what they do, I think a lot of the clothing lines that they make, like for females, are like they're into it. I mean, they
Please enlighten me how
do
women
that
are
kind of
into
thing. I
the
mean,
Playboy.
that's been really successful for them these past few years.
Are women into the Playboy outfits? Because me
Um,
speaking as a female, I didn't even know they sold clothes.
Do your own DD. I'm just kidding.
No, thank you. Yeah, I honestly didn't know Playboys sold. Hallister, is there anything you would like to confess right now?
What?
He's like,
No
no,
idea.
I'm pleading the
What
fifth.
you were talking. Well, I tell you, I mean, the other thing is the word on the street is that I mean this is actually you're gonna love this. This is a perfect transition. Word on the street is Ryan Cohen has a small wee wee.
You would go there.
I don't know if you heard about that.
I can.
No, but I mean that was an amazing tweet. I mean, I'm sure most of you guys saw that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about the link to that, or do you want me to go through it?
Oh, you can totally do that because you can explain that other one. I saw the Wayway thing with the gas fees and the loopering connection, but you found a totally different one that I only kind of understood. So you can totally go through that one.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of connections to it. I mean, one of them was, I don't know if everybody remembers like the South Park tweet from like a few months back, but with the oh my God, they killed Kenny, but in Spanish. Apparently, the name of that episode is Ike's Small Wee Wee. So I mean, some were speculating it was a reference again back to that, but the other was it has to do with this show. I think it's a Canadian show, and I haven't watched it, so there's others that would probably know more than I do. But it's called Kenny versus Spenny, and apparently, in this particular episode, there was a contest to see who could stay naked the longest between Kenny and Spenny, and it was Spenny that lost the contest, and when he did, he put his clothes on, went out in the middle of the street, and proclaimed, "I have a small wee wee." And so a lot of people seem to think that by him tweeting that backwards is implying that Kenny is still naked. So I don't know. I mean, it's really interesting. And then we have this, the gag order, like for RC, is set to be expiring here in about a week. And so there is some hype around an announcement of some kind. I would always, I'm always cautious on that kind of stuff. No dates, don't get too excited or anything like that. But I don't know. On the other side, I'm definitely excited to hear what he has to say, if anything. Although, if he continues to hold the cards close, like I don't think there's any reason to be disappointed with that either.
Oh no. I mean, if worst case scenario, he just got everyone to type their names backwards. That's all.
A little bit off, but kind of entwined. But Loopring is supposed to have an announcement before the end of the year as well, too. So
Yes, we are
in collaboration or whatever.
Yeah, we actually, Lady Lovestonks has actually gotten the CEO or one of the founders or someone will be coming to talk after their announcement on BullHouse. So we have that to look forward to middle of December, roughly. Which will be really cool. Yeah, they basically said, yeah, they would be willing to come talk after their big announcement, which we were like, oh, do we get a hint? We promise we won't tell. Let's see. GS says, I think RC is saying buy GME options next week. Freshmaker's asking what the definition of small is. Don't know. Can't speak for him. Tampa Kurt tried stopping at Walmart today. Every employee was outside saying they're closed. Systems were down. Meat spoiling. I asked if it was a cyber attack. Employees thought so. So if it's, I mean, if it's the one I'm thinking of, Curtis, that's close to both of us. Yeah, their systems were down a couple weeks ago. Like their refrigeration system was down a few weeks ago. Okay, you guys will be proud. I legitimately was going to call and ask if their refrigerators were running. Like I had a kind of a laugh about it at the time because like my sister and my mom had come home and been like, and they had told me like, where the sour cream and the butter and all this other stuff, like the cooler systems were down. And so they didn't have it or anything like that. And so I was like, oh, and it was like the next day and I said, should I call and ask them if their refrigerators are running? And I just died laughing because I mean, it was a legitimate question, but you guys see the irony here. And so like my sister hands me my phone and she was like, you have to call. I call, it rings like for a good 2 minutes, nobody answers, so I just hang up and I'm sitting there just like almost in tears laughing because I was like, I'm literally trying to call and see if these people's refrigerators are running to see if I can go to the store and get the things that we want or if I have to go somewhere else. So yeah, there's that almost happened. So yeah, we could actually start asking if refrigerators are running and not actually mean it as a prank, but a legitimate question. So there's a funny for you. I'm trying really hard not to laugh really hard because it's just so comical in my head. Curtis wants to come up. Hey, Curtis.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, that's actually what they were saying exactly. That refrigerators were not working. Half the meat that they had already spoiled, and that was only one store, and that's a massive store. And, like, and as you know, there's a lot of big Walmarts around here, and I think all of them are closed right now too.
That's
I'm
insane.
not quite sure. I haven't called them, but she said, well, I heard uh, within a within 50-mile radius, all Walmart systems were down, including the refrigerators and freezers. And I don't know, the person I was with thought they heard that it was 47 stores that were down. So I need some. I'll try to get some clarification on that. But either way, that's just bad.
Well,
I
so
mean,
it's actually funny that you say
especially for
this.
this area, you know how many people depend on Walmart.
Yeah, like, it's really funny that you say all this because Tyler was at Sam's Club yesterday, and you were having problems with the receipts being printed. Yeah, they couldn't print receipts like that. You would go to check out or whatever, and it would print like a blank piece of paper, and so they'd have to go in and they'd have to do it again.
It was like one by one.
And it was like one by one that people were having this problem, where people's receipts weren't printing. So, but I guess he said that in a 50-mile radius from here, like all the systems in Walmart are down, and like meat's spoiling and everything. So they think it's a cyber attack. But why Tampa Bay? Like, hello, go like Miami or LA or but Tampa Bay? Like, what the hell? Like, that's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I asked, do you think this is a cybersecurity issue? And there was about three employees huddled around me, and they were all like, "We can't think of anything else. Like, we really can't. I mean, that has to be the issue." So I really can't confirm any of this, but yeah, that's what the employees were telling me.
Okay, we're gonna dive into this one.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, I saw your tweet, and I feel like I'm the guy that tries to turn everything into stocks, but that's something that I've been looking for a play into, though, is cybersecurity. Because like that, I mean, that is, I'm loosely involved in that business. Like I do IT related audit work, and I mean, I can tell you that cybersecurity is just top of mind for just about any company right now. And I mean, it has been for like a number of years. The SEC is getting involved in it. Just from a stock perspective, I mean, they write comment letters to companies about their internal controls, like as it relates to cybersecurity and the types of disclosures that they put in their statements or their 10Ks, related to cybersecurity risk. I mean, it's a huge area. And there's all kinds of plays on it. I mean, in terms of security companies, even like cyber insurance. I've seen, a lot of studies that cyber insurance premiums have been going up significantly, like over the past year or so, and have been trying to look into, insurance companies that have that in their portfolio, because I don't know that it's your, Geico's and Allstates and Aflacs and those kind of things. I don't think they really deal in cyber insurance. I mean, I know there's some international ones, like I think Beasley, which I don't even know if you can trade on most brokers, or Munich Re, but Chubb might be one that I've been looking at a little bit that has some cyber exposure from an insurance premium perspective, which, I mean, that's another thing. And I don't know, maybe like from a community DD perspective, I mean, it's something to think about or look into. Insurance companies tend to do better when the interest rate environments get better. So if the Fed is hawkish, like we've seen the tapering start. Like I saw, I think it was Bullard today, the president of the St. Louis Fed, that came out and mentioned that we could see interest rate hikes as early as Q1. as those things start to go up, insurance companies tend to do better because, that's what they do is they collect premiums and then invest it in, short-term, safe, interest-bearing notes, and that's how they make a lot of their money. So I don't know. That's one area that I've been starting to look into a little bit, and may be worthwhile. It's not a sexy play. We're not going to see huge runners there likely, but it may be a little more hedged against market risk, and they might do a little better than most.
Yeah, I think cybersecurity might be a good play. Just see who actually succeeds in keeping our security, our confidential information, and everything kind of, safe. And according to Johnny Rocket, hackers do not like the Buccaneers, which, don't mess with my Bucks. Come on. They've been a little science project until Brady got here. You just watch them in a little petri dish and just, say, oh, look how cute they are, until they just won the Super Bowl for no reason. Like, hey, whatever. And I say this as a previous Colts fan, being from Indy, who, I was raised to hate the Patriots, and obviously that meant Tom Brady. You cannot, I'll say it, he's a GOAT. He is, like, the fact that he took the Bucks through to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, I can't deny it. It sucks, but
Yeah, and I'm sorry it came at the expense of your Chiefs, Hollister. It was impressive.
What?
Are you a Chief? I'm just messing with you, man.
But no. So no, I think we will end it on that note, guys. Again, tomorrow night, 10 p.m. we'll be in the BullHouse Discord. If you want to be able to join us and talk or listen live there, you can get into the BullHouse Discord. There's links everywhere. If you want one, DM me if you can't find it. If not, we're always streaming on YouTube whenever we're live in one of these, so you can always watch us there too. I do appreciate everyone that has joined us and tuned in. It's good to be back. It is good to be back. We have a lot to cover still. There's a crap ton of information, but we'll get there. But yeah, I will see you guys. By the way, D, your backwards spelling of everything has completely screwed with my dyslexia. I look down and I seriously see like snot. Like I know it's you because of your picture, but it just looks like snot in my brain. So I have to really focus on what your name actually says. So yeah. Thank you guys for all the backwards spelling, because now that I've learned how to actually read, you guys are screwing with me. It's great. I think you guys do pretty good. Hey, can I hit the like button? Thank you, Javi. I appreciate that. You're amazing. Everyone, the other 21 likes, you guys are amazing. Thank you for doing that. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.